Everyone, my name is Dr. Rahul Nautiyal. I'm a senior spine consultant and a sports physio. If you are having back pain, so your doctor might have suggested you to do core strengthening and activation exercise. You might have visited to so many physiotherapists, so many exercise center, gyms. You are doing core strengthening exercises, but still those exercises are not actually creating a major impact in your pain. So what's the reason? Why is it not happening? Why your core is still failing to get strengthened and give you the support that your core ideally should give you? So today we are going to discuss how core activation and core strengthening can happen, or what is the correct way of doing core activation and strengthening exercises, and how we should escalate the resistance in our exercises so that you will going to activate your core muscles and strengthen them to a level where those muscles should start giving you support, and all the activities that you are doing throughout the day, your muscles should be there to help you. Okay, so let's discuss. Is a group of muscles that surrounds not only the low back but some portion of mid back too. So let us first understand how we can activate our core muscles. So for that, the patient position should be in the lying down. They can bend their knees so that their low back should get flat on the floor. So in this position, patient has to inhale from their nose and then exhale from their mouth, and while exhaling they have to drop down their rib cage and take their belly button inside and lift up their pelvis a little more. So I'll show you how they can do that. So you have to inhale from your nose and then exhale from your mouth, right? So inhale from your nose, good. Now exhale from your mouth, drop down your rib cage slightly, good. Now take your belly button inside. So this way the upper portion and the middle and sideways portion of core muscles is now activated. Now for the lower portion, patient has to take their pelvis upward. So you have to take these two bones towards your head, upward movement. This route, no. So you are actually doing it a little more. Just slide this movement. Correct. Yes. So now patient has activated their core muscles. Now you can hold this position for 10 counts. So it's like 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, relax. So this is the correct way of activating the core muscles. So with this, the upper portion, front portion, back, sideways, and the pelvis portion or the lower portion of core is now activated. So after doing this activation, let us discuss what all are the basic exercises that patient can do while having a back pain, or if they want to activate their core muscles. So for the first exercise, after doing core activation in this way, we'll be using a small ball or a towel roll and we'll put it between the knees. So now what patient has to do in this exercise is, they have to first activate their core muscles in the same manner, and then they'll press this ball or the towel roll by using at least 20 to 30% of their maximum strength. So it's like, breathe in from your nose, breathe out from your mouth, tuck your tummy in, drop down your rib cage, yes, pelvis up, and now, no, only slightly, yes, just to activate your core muscles, good. Now in this, press by applying only 20-30% of your strength and hold this position for 10 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, right. So a patient can repeat this exercise for 10 times by counting for 10 or holding it for 10 seconds. For next exercise, by doing the core activation in this manner, patient has to lift their leg up without making any movement at the knee joint or at the ankle joint. So it has to be a movement at the hip joint only. So a slight lift up and then take it down. So it's a consistent movement. Patient do not have to hold it. So it's like they are lifting the leg up and then they're taking it down, but the movement has to be slow and sustained at the same time. So it's like breathe in from your nose, breathe out from your mouth, drop down your rib cage, activate your core. Good. Now lift your leg up slightly and then take it down. Take it down, take it down. Good. Let me show this exercise on the other leg. So the same thing, breathe in from your nose, breathe out from your mouth, drop down your rib cage, tummy tuck, activate your core, lift this leg up slightly. Good. And now take it down. So without hold, in a single speed or tempo, sustain it in a sustainable manner and repeat it for 10 times. So 10 times from your right leg and 10 times from your left. So this is the exercise for iliacus muscles. Iliacus also play a key role in core activation or giving low back a good support. Now let us do the exercise for our other muscles, which are erector spinae. So which are external obliques and internal obliques. So obliques are the muscles that runs down in a crossway manner. So it's like from left rib to right hip, and from right rib to left hip are the external obliques, and somewhere around the hip area, running from the hip towards the opposite rib cage are the internal obliques. So these are the two muscles. Let us do exercise for them. So patient position is same, core activation manner is same. We will be doing an eccentric movement. So eccentric are the movement where the muscle length increase while doing the contraction. So now in this same process, core activation, breathe in from your nose, breathe out from your mouth, tuck your tummy in, and now in this, patient has to take their legs slightly outward, approximately 20 to 30 degree, and then they have to take it inside. Same thing, same slow and a sustained movement, but the feet position in this exercise has to be adjoined. So now this is the correct position in this exercise. So breathe in from your nose, breathe out from your mouth, drop down your rib cage, activate, and then take your knee out approximately 20 to 30 degree, and then take it inside. So this exercise also can be repeated 10 times on either side. Now let us do activation exercise for our hip muscles. So in that, for our abductor muscles that are responsible for the outward movement of leg. So in that exercise, patient position has to be in sideways, in a sideline position. So sideline position. Now, positioning in the exercise is very critical and very crucial. So in this, feet, hip, shoulder and head should fall in a straight line. So for that, you can ask patient to keep their lower hand beneath their head. So you can keep this hand beneath your head like this and keep your neck slightly upward. So now you can see head, shoulder, hip and feet are in the straight line. Patient can place their upper hand around the butt region so that they will not let the pelvis fall backward. Right. So now in this, what movement patient is expected to do after doing the core activation is that they have to take their knee up to an angle or a range where the hip is not rolling backward, although patient will be giving a counter force from their hand. So reaching to this level, and then they have to hold it for approximately 5 counts or 10 counts according to their comfortability. Let us do 5 count. So after doing the core activation, let us do the core activation sideline also. Same, breathe in, breathe out, tummy tuck. Okay, now I want you to take your knee up approximately till this angle, because after this range you will be rolling your hip backward and we will not going to get the correct effect of our exercise. And now hold it for 5 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Relax. So this way patient can repeat this exercise for 5 times or 10 times and can hold this for 5 or 10 times respectively. Good. Now for our last exercise, which will be an exercise for their glute muscles, gluteus maximus muscles, which is responsible to take the leg in a backward direction. So it's like a backward movement, an extension movement at the hip joint. So for that exercise, patient position is prone, which means head will be facing downward. So you have to lie down prone. You can place a pillow beneath the tummy so that the lumbar spine will remain in a neutral back position. So in this, patient would be asking to bend their knees, both the legs, and they have to adjoin their heels. Now they have to take their knees slightly outward in order to concentrate the force at the glute muscle. So in this exercise, core activation is actually not required. It's just that they have to squeeze their butt muscles and then they can press the heels in order to get a concentrated force at the glute muscles. And since it's a strengthening exercise, so patient can hold it for 10 counts. So you have to hold this position for 10 counts. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax. Now patient who are having a increased arch at the low back, at the lumbar spine, which we call increased lordosis. So in that patient might feel a little strain at around the low back while doing this exercise, because this exercise promote arching at the low back. So to compensate it or to rectify it, patient can place a pillow, as we discussed earlier, a pillow beneath the tummy in order to keep the spine in a neutral position, so that the force will going to get concentrated at the glute muscle only and lumbar spine will be spared. So these are the exercises that these are all the activation exercises that patient can do while doing their core activation. These are all the general exercise, but for a correct or for a specific customized exercise, I would suggest all the patient having back pain to meet their physiotherapist, or they can visit Impact Physio and Sports Rehab Hub. Thank you.